Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. Good morning. Welcome to another market open stream. A couple minutes before the U.S. market opens. Looking red right now, and I'm going to explain why. And also, of course, I have to talk about Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin has not broken into a new high yet, but it is mimicking this very bullish pattern from 2019. So let's talk about that and talk about some altcoin news as well. Good morning. Welcome, 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 guys. You could see this U.S. market is about to open deep in a red. Dow has been in a red for a couple days now. But you can see NASDAQ. NASDAQ is down almost 2%. 2%. And we were hit with some really good news, but also that good news is spooking the market a little bit. And what is that? Payrolls. Payroll jobs increased by 500,000 in January. It was anticipated that the U.S. market would only add about 187 jobs, non-farm jobs, basically everything else besides farming. And shockingly, the U.S. economy added 500,000 within 1 month. This is fantastic news, right? This shows that all these businesses that didn't have enough people, right? We know like restaurants and all these places, retailers and everywhere else, hospitals, airlines. We experienced for a couple years a lot of these industries that were just very short-staffed. So now they're hiring. So you got a lot of people going back to work, a lot of these companies filling up or creating new jobs for people. Overall, this is fantastic. This is what you want to hear. This is what happens in a good environment, in a good economy. And there's the market bell. But somehow this is spooking the markets once again, right? It's too good. The markets didn't expect this. Wall Street is like, okay, this is way too good. So now Wall Street is a little worried that because this is so good that it's going to change Powell's mind. Jerome Powell's like, okay, maybe the economy's a little too strong and we can't be that dovish. And come March, we're going to have to raise more rates. You know, that's the bottom line. Wall Street is trying to guess whether or not this is too bullish, basically, for Jerome Powell. And that's the environment we're still in, right? I can't wait until we finally have no more rate hikes, right? And that will be coming later this year. But up until then, we're still faced with this where the U.S. market is kind of like, yeah, this is terrific news, but it's not good news for Powell. And you can see, look at DXY. As soon as this job report came out, DXY just shot up like to the moon, right? Again, you know, it's like, it's just one of those things you just have to laugh off because it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It makes sense, but it shouldn't be this way. Let's just put it that way. It shouldn't be this way, okay? Also, what's scaring the market a little bit today is due to earnings from last night. Apple reported bad numbers, so did Google. So that's scaring off. That's cooling off tech a little bit. Just a little bit. So today we'll see. You know, but tech has been rallying for 3 days straight or 2 days straight. So taking a little breather is normal, right? And rallying, I mean really rallying, right? Like up double digits. So taking a little breather is actually pretty normal. But I did see this. We're used to the crypto fear and greed index, but there's actually one for markets, and it's at 80 right now, extreme greed after the Powell conference. So it makes sense when you have a lot of fearful or when you have a lot of greedy people, you have a lot of FOMO, markets go up, but then it could turn really, really quick to the other side because when there's just a little bit of weakness, all these people that FOMO'd in, they get scared out, and then, you know, you have this pattern. I mean, look at it. Just 1 month ago, down below, you can see 1 month ago, it was in fear, right? How things have changed rapidly within 1 month. But what about the crypto fear and greed index? Well, crypto, a little better. We're at 60, which is greed, right? But again, look at last month, 29, fear. So us in crypto land, we're not as bullish, okay? Not as greedy as those in equities, but sentiment is improving. Of course, there will be people that feel better, feel more alive, feeling ready to jump back in. So overall good. And bullish sentiment continues to go up. We're at the most bullish market sentiment in 14 months, despite the fact that Bitcoin is not even half back to its previous high. But this is what happens when we go through a prolonged downtrend over a year, right? Any good movement, any slight recovery, well, brings a lot of positivity back, right? So, but the market sentiment is definitely improving in a big way. And that's terrific. That's terrific. You have a lot of countries that are still adopting and growing their laws, their regulations, their services, right? And today, there's a couple. Australia introduces classification for crypto assets. Hey, maybe the U.S. can follow this, because they actually broke it down into 4, and the 4 actually makes a whole lot of sense. Number 1, crypto asset services, which include lending, borrowing, which doesn't really exist in the U.S. anymore, fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, crypto token trading, funds management, mining, staking as a service, gambling, and custody. So these are all services, important services, okay? Then you have intermediated crypto assets, which are closest to widespread definition of tokens, rights, and licenses in relation to event access or subscription, intellectual property reward program, consumer goods, services, fiat money, non-financial assets, government bond coupons. This includes stablecoins. Yes, fiat money, right? So this is basically stablecoins and anything that you can use to grant rights to something, like tokenizing real estate, for example, or getting access to a subscription. That would be in that category. Then you have network tokens constituting peer-to-peer payment infrastructure. Think of your original Bitcoin. Okay, it could be Bitcoin. It could be, I guess it's just Bitcoin, but you could count other chains that are network tokens, like, for example, Ethereum, right? Used to pay for gas fees. I mean, that makes sense. And then you have smart contracts existing on a spectrum from intermediated to public. Intermediaries use former and providing a service, latter use the party. Okay. No, I mean, that's a pretty good definition, I guess, to break things down, although I think you could break it down even more. But at least they have something, because Australia is pro-crypto overall. U.S., we don't really have any classification at all. That's why when we're doing our taxes, it's really hard to do. Like, what about airdrops? What about staking rewards, right? What about buying a cup of coffee? What about transfer fees? Can you deduct those? I mean, so there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, right? The IRS is kind of vague because there's just no classification for anything. So there's that. Of course, we have a lot of banks around the world that's still adopting. Here's one from Russia. Plans on launching their DeFi platform in May. Okay, they're going to launch a DeFi platform on top of Ethereum. And we heard JP Morgan trying to do this in Southeast Asia too, right? So now DeFi is expanding beyond what we know, which are liquidity providers and DEXs, bridges, stuff like that within the projects we have been covering, right? But now these big boys are going to come out their own DeFi products, right? So DeFi can expand and evolve into something that we can't even recognize in the future. But it's starting. It's starting, right? And Tim Draper also went to Sri Lanka trying to get them to embrace Bitcoin. Unfortunately, he was snubbed. They're not a fan. They're more a fan of controlling their currency, according to them, right? But we still have other countries that are more open-minded, that want to break free from the IMF and World Bank and want their own independence. And just like investors, they want a currency that's not controlled by anyone. So it's just a matter of time. The whole world embraces Bitcoin and crypto in a major, major way. Just a matter of time. Now, what about this bullish pattern that Bitcoin is mimicking? Well, I mean, this is almost identical. Like, it can't be more identical than this. And thanks to Stock Money Lizards for pointing this out. You look at a couple things here. You look at when we fell down from 2017 down to the bottom in basically end of 2018, started 2019, and then we recovered, right? So from that period, you could see 478 days before Bitcoin started breaking out from bottom, right? You could see the RSI level at that point, right around 55, around midpoint. And then you look at our current situation now. 478 days from the top. We are definitely recovering from bottom. The RSI has just broken out to same point as before, right? And you look at it too, it's like nearly identical. And this is considering we went through different crashes, different macro factors, right? But still, it's mimicking it almost to the T. Now, in 2019, we recovered up quickly to 70%. Right now, we're about plus 50%, but who knows? It could change really quickly. Another 20% here or there is really nothing, right? So this reminds me what happened in 2019 when we went from 3,000 all the way up to 14,000 in a very short order, right before July, around June timeframe, right? So right now, a lot of people think that we're following the same pattern. And if we do, and there's a lot of other technical indicators that actually support this too, and moving averages that's supporting this bullish case, can we see 40, 50,000 before July, sometime in May or June? It's not out of the realm of possibilities. Let's just put it that way. It could happen. But this kind of shows you how similar we are tracking previous cycles, previous bottoms, previous recoveries, and that's awesome. That is awesome, right? Here's another one. This is kind of hard to see, but you can see this one's just tracking this other stock. Someone found this. What if, right? Our current chart looks like this other stock that you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. And again, it looks almost identical. But that's not tracking anything significant. It's just like, what if, right? And what ifs sometimes happen, especially when we're mimicking previous cycles. This is not a what if. We broke through the realized price. We broke through a 200 weekly moving average. These are very bullish signs for Bitcoin. And I've covered these before, but still very significant because look at the two previous times where Bitcoin broke through the realized price. What happened? Tremendous recovery. Both times. It hasn't happened that many times before, right? Both times, very, very bullish recoveries. All right, speaking of recoveries, look at that. Coming right back up, almost back to even, 23.5. The U.S. market, let's see, I didn't refresh. It's better than just 15 minutes ago. Now, there's a couple alts that you guys may have noticed that's been skyrocketing recently. One of them is Optimism. Optimism, I covered them a few days ago. They've been skyrocketing recently, even more so. And this is probably the reason. Because now you have BAUSD, which is, of course, a stablecoin from Binance, now integrated on top of Optimism, which is pretty big. Ethereum and other big chains, they're used to having all the stablecoins out there. But the smaller ones do not. They don't have a lot of stablecoins. So some projects choose to come out with their own. Or they have a project to help them come out with their own, like Cody with Jed on Cardano, right? VeChain also came out their own. But a lot of these other ones, of course, they're embracing what exists now. And BAUSD coming aboard is pretty big. There's a lot of liquidity, makes interchanging between chains much easier, makes DeFi and DEXs, the liquidity is just much easier when you have it this way. So this could be the reason why. No, I'm pretty sure this is the reason why they've been pumping up recently. Also, I've been noticing Fantom. Fantom's been going really strong, really strong, right? I was trying to find anything I could find out. Not really. There's a couple things. Number one is they are integrated now with Chainlink, which I think overall is a big deal. Chainlink it's an Oracle network, provides data feeds between chains and interchain too. But by being part of Chainlink, you can now fetch data from other chains, and all the dApps within a certain chain can talk to each other and fetch data from each other. So this is overall really good. Because if you don't have a decentralized Oracle doing this job, you have to create kind of your own. And a lot of DeFi projects get hacked whenever they tend to use their own oracles. Okay, so being hooked up to Chainlink, this came a couple days ago. This is pretty good. And Andre Cronin, which is like a DeFi architect, he's still speaking. He's going to be going to some conference called ETH Dubai, right, talking about Fantom. Fantom also just came off another like conference back in January. So it could be a combination of things. Basically, people are excited, getting hooked up to Chainlink, and still growing their DeFi ecosystem. That's really how I would explain it. So both Optimism, Fantom, right? Fantom is like a L1, L2. I mean, they have their native tokens, but they're also EVM compatible. Optimism is definitely L2. Both of these have been really hot recently. Lastly, Logan Paul. He is named in a proposed class action lawsuit because of his NFT project CryptosRUs, which CoffeeZilla exposed, and now not sure what's going to happen. But it's not a pretty situation. Although Logan Paul did say he came up with a plan where people that bought in can burn it and get equivalency of what they paid for. I mean, it's something. It's something. But I don't think he's really paying attention right now because he seems to be doing pretty well in the WWE. And then eBay also. eBay is going head-to-head with Amazon with their NFT ambitions. They bought an NFT site called Known Origin. It's on top of Ethereum, and they have a ton of job openings right now. I don't know what they plan on doing with NFTs. Amazon, because of their partnership with Avalanche, most likely they're going to launch NFTs, right? I don't know what either one of these companies are going to do with their NFTs. I can't even speculate. Like, is it just for fun? Are they going to go create use for them? I actually don't know. But there's going to be a battle, that's for sure. Hey, we're climbing back up even more. Looking good. Looking good. This is what's called or known as the George effect. Whenever I stream, Bitcoin pumps. Is I get people riled up and excited about it. All right. Let's do some Q&A. I did notice, even though Bitcoin slid down a little bit, the overall global market cap is still the same, and BTC dominance has fallen even more than last night. So there could be a resurgence of altcoins right now, which is why BTC is stuck where it is too. That could play a small role. All right. Paramjeet says, following you religiously. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, someone says, that's crazy. That's a lot of jobs. That is a lot of jobs. 500,000 jobs in 1 month. That's a lot. And this is good news. This is good news, right? The more people that find jobs, the more companies that offer jobs, right? Shows you want the labor force to be strong. You don't want unemployment to go up, right? And that's one of the things that Powell said he's considering, that maybe we could get a soft landing without destroying the labor force and causing unemployment to go up, right? Which everyone cheered for. So hopefully that's the case. This should not be bringing markets down. This should not be causing Wall Street to sell off. But it is, because people think it's too good and Powell's not going to like it. You know, that's kind of the situation. James, I liked how consistent you are with the message DCA. I mean, I'm telling you from experience. I've been in a market, crypto market and stock market for a long time. And what I've learned is having patience, DCAing, and holding, that's how you truly win. When you don't follow these things, you're basically gambling, and more often than not, you lose. Coinbase recovering fast. Coinbase, man, the entire market is recovering today. You know, Coinbase went up like a staggering like 12% yesterday, and a day before it went up 12%. Today's down a little bit, taking a breather, but it could be turning green pretty soon. Tesla is still flying, almost back to 200. I mean, hey, maybe finally people realize what I've been saying, that this is a good thing. Look at unemployment rate hits 53-year low. Unemployment is going down. It's not even going back up slightly. It's going down because people are going back to work. This is fantastic. The market should be rallying like plus 1,000 because of this, not being going down, you know. So eventually we're going to get back to normal. But, you know, in the meantime, it is what it is. But, you know, the good thing is Bitcoin soon will decouple from all this. Crypto overall is getting stronger with each and every cycle. It's good. You got today, Polkadot is up decently. SHIB is up. Uniswap is up. Cosmos up. You got a lot of altcoins up today. I did mention about Optimism already. Fantom is up still. I mean, they've been on a crazy run, 200% in the last 30 days. Terra is going up, although I don't like that. But they are going up. Look at Optimism up about 9% because of the BUSD integration today. And, you know, you got a lot of mover. Osmosis, which is the biggest DEX within Cosmos, up. You know, with Cosmos getting stronger, Osmosis makes sense. They get stronger. Magic. I don't even know what Magic is. Somehow they popped into the top 100. Happy Friday, everyone, by the way. I almost forgot today's Friday. Let's see. What did I miss? Sorry, I got to catch up here. Do you stake with your Wednesday DCA portfolio? Do you stake overall? I do stake overall, but not that much. Not that much. I do stake my Polygon. I stake my Cosmos, BNB. Some of the unstaking takes a hell of a long time. Like Cosmos, unfortunately, it's like 20-something days to unstake. BNB takes like 7 days. Polygon, I forgot, it's like 3 days. You know, just so people are aware, when you unstake, some are instantaneous, some you have to wait. Avalanche, I believe, is instantaneous. Some of the others are, but yeah. We buy when dips for super chats. Yes, Miles, I have no idea what you're saying. I have no idea what you're saying, but thank you. Cosmos been pumping too. I mean, Cosmos is Cosmos. They have a lot of good things happening. I'm still waiting for Interchain Security, which should be out soon. Interchain Security will change the landscape for Cosmos. It'll actually bring real use case for Atom. Your thoughts on a bankruptcy situation with Celsius and BlockFi? Expect them to settle and pay users this year? Yes. Yes, but how much they pay, 50%, 60%, we don't know. But yeah, I do think they will be resolved this year. I have no opinions on ICP. Sorry, guys. Zero. There's no way, Jan, that Lakers go get Zach LaVine. That would be crazy if they did. But they really need more shooters. The Lakers need more shooters and people that don't get injured. Okay, I think Hachimura is a good, very good addition. Young blood, big too. He's like 6'9", 6'10". He could shoot the three. He could develop into something really good. But they need shooters. They need like Zach LaVine is not that great of a shooter. He's good, but not that great. Okay, I think I caught up there. I caught up. Well, when Coinbase relists XRP, I don't think they will do so until the lawsuit is settled. So, what's up from Union, South Carolina, Brock, and everyone else? Bad Sunshine, Doge 256, Lazaro. Pam, what are your criteria during your DCA? I mean, a lot of it's obviously I do it based on gut feel because I've been looking at things all week. And sometimes it's just based on, what I like. But if you're establishing what you want to buy, there's a lot of things you can look at. Of course, look at, I would say liquidity, how big they are. With market cap, how much liquidity they have on chain with DeFi, those are big things to look at. Then you look at upcoming roadmap developments. That's in play. You look at the team, how reliable they are. Have they done anything in the past? Then you could look at how active they are with their community, how active they are with Twitter, with their blog posts. Yeah, and then you gauge other things like how, I don't know. There's other little stuff, but that's the gist of it. No, I didn't watch the last Lakers game. I have not watched any games, to be honest. Recovery weekend, it could be. We're recovering back up ever since I started streaming. But that could just be because of me. No, but overall, I think Bitcoin is taking a breather right now. It got halted a little bit yesterday because of how hot Coinbase and some of the other stocks were. This morning, we're halted a little bit because of this fantastic jobs number. But the market does look like it still wants to rally, still wants to continue. So regardless, we could turn green today. But Bitcoin, I think, is taking a breather because you could tell Bitcoin dominance has gone down. The overall market cap has not. A lot of money is flowing into alts right now, which is really good too. Favorite dev, or do you mean DEX? Favorite DEX just has to be Uniswap still. Uniswap is the biggest. Black coffee. Chris of Kodiak, I've been DCAing since 2017. I'm retired 31. Congratulations. Congratulations. You did it faster than me, but congratulations. Let's see if I miss here. 0 times. I mean, that's reality. You know, people's expectations are like Bitcoin has to go up continuously forever, that it can't take any breathers or stop or come down a little bit. That's just not reality. Reality is when something goes up so fast, yes, we love it to see it continue, but at some point it's going to stop. At some point it's going to take a breather, and that's fine. How many BTC do I need to get a girlfriend? You could have 0 BTC and still get a girlfriend. It's not going to change your game, so you should work on your game first. Where I stake my Polygon, I actually just do it from Binance.us. So I keep a small amount in there, and I just stake within. It's just really easy. But of course, you can download one of Polygon's wallets and just stake within also. Miles, bottom is in. Yes, yes. I think I've answered that many times already. But yeah, all indications show that 15K was our bottom. Oh, look at this headline. U.S. credit card debt jumps 18.5%. It hits a record of $930 billion. Almost $1 trillion worth of credit card debt. This is not what this is not what we want. This is not something that any of you guys watching should be participating in. You should all figure out how to get out of your credit card debt, because it's just silly. Just silly to be paying whatever 22%, 25% interest. That's just horrible, horrible. And plus, if you do have credit card debt, you should not be investing. That's just how I feel. You have to make sure you get out of debt, like especially like credit card debt. Mortgages and car loans a little bit different, but especially credit card debt. And I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, you know, I just bought crypto on credit card." That's not what you're supposed to do. You know, keep in mind you invest with extra money, side money, money that's not going to hurt you if you actually lose it, right? And people are buying on credit card debt, that's not the case. Ken, that's right. Free Thoughts Design has a cookie cutter shop in Decentraland. People go check it out. Yes, not every wallet accepts every coin. You have a lot of great universal wallets out there, but not every one accepts everything. So most likely you're going to have to use a couple different wallets. I do. I think most people use a couple different wallets, because you're not going to have one that covers every single thing. Crypto Butts, good morning from Austin. Have a good one. Today's Friday. Just so you guys know, I don't have anything. I don't have any streams tonight. But this weekend could continue. We could definitely continue forward for sure. I think right now Bitcoin's taking a little breather, but it's getting ready. It's getting ready, right? And especially you see all the you see all the adoption, you see all the charts, you see all the on-chain metrics. Everything is pointing us in a recovery mode and heading much higher and mimicking previous cycles that will shock people. Shout out to Kevin in Texas. Whoever Kevin is, maybe you're Kevin or your friend. Happy Friday, Kevin. Is TrustWall okay? Yes. Yes. TrustWall is great, in my opinion. One BTC or 2023 Porsche GT3. Porsche GT3. Because that costs like 10 Bitcoins. Main crypto alts under your radar. 5Trez. You're going to have to tune in Wednesday night. That's when I do DCA with everyone. And you get a good idea of all the main altcoins that I like. But primarily, they're L1, L2s, the bigger ones. And you throw in some other dApps like Metaverse plays, right? But primarily, Bitcoin, L1, L2s, the bigger ones. Thoughts on ACH for next bull run? I mean, ACH is a good fiat on-ramp, off-ramp. Also partnered up with Shopify. So they're good, but I don't know. For me, Alchemy Pay is not, I guess you could consider them like, you know, like a small cap that could explode. They have huge potential, right? But for me, I like chains better. Do I prefer squirrels or chipmunk? Neither. I don't know how to answer questions like that. Would you ever consider buying a car in an auction, Mike? Asks. Yeah, if I had you know, a lot of side money, extra cash laying around, and I had no idea what to do with it, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of collecting like those super, not exotic cars, but super unique cars, like the first production, you know, of this or some 1990s car that has like 10 miles on it, you know, like stuff like that doesn't appeal to me. I don't know. I like cars, but you know, I like modern cars, and I may one day buy a muscle car and work on that, but that's it. I don't need to get some like, you know, some crazy car like the very first Supra that came off the line, or the very first Corvette that came off the line. You know, stuff like that doesn't appeal to me. I don't hold Nano. I don't like Nano. Am I bullish on Chainlink? Yes, Chainlink is vital to the space, but it's very boring. It's a project that doesn't really get exciting. It's just a decentralized Oracle network that gives chains the ability to talk to each other and fetch data. And I do believe this is one of the reasons why Fantom actually popped recently, because of this. It's a big deal for chains and dApps because they can access all this data. And Chainlink's network is very robust. It's been tested. Hackers have tried to hack it before. So far as I know, they have not been hacked. They've never been down. They're super, super reliable, and you need that for DeFi. It's absolutely critical for DeFi. Whenever there's any price disparities, price differences, DeFi projects get hacked or get there's some vulnerability that hackers take advantage of. So Chainlink is absolutely vital. Do I like low-rider cars? No. I like very high-riding cars like SUVs and trucks. Connor, you know, a lot of people ask me about ICP. I have no opinion on it. I never liked ICP. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever like ICP, so I'm neutral. A lot of people keep asking about ICP. Not a project of mine that I look at. Still checking nulls? No. No, I'm not. I gave up on that project. I think they're still doing what they can, but a lot of the leadership has changed. Some of the guys like started this other project. They seem to be distracted. You know, I don't know. I kind of gave up on them. Sanjay, appreciate it. What year of Mustang is your favorite? I don't know. I had a 95 Mustang. So, the new ones they look good, but I don't know if I would ever buy one. Like, there's a lot of GT500 and GT350s out that look fantastic, but they're like 80, 90K. And I can't get myself to pay that much for a Mustang. No matter how good it is, it's still a Mustang. Like, I would totally buy a Corvette, a new Stingray, over like a GT500. That's just me. What are ISO 20022 tokens? Like XRP, Stellar. But I don't care for ISO 20 or whatever that standard is. That's a standard for banks. Why do you want crypto to meet standards of banks? Crypto is meant to replace banks, replace the payment rails that we have today. So why, I'm not sure why people want that or think that's a good thing. Man, DXY is still shooting up. Well, it looks like the market is going to stay in the red. It recovers slightly, but not turning green. No one talks about AMP anymore because the SEC basically called them a security. That's why people have stopped paying attention to AMP and caused some exchanges to delist them. That's why. Who you got in a fist fight? Zeus or Jesus? I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer that. I'm not a muscle guy, but my go-to muscle car would be a Grand National. I used to have one of my best friends before. He had a cousin who would race cars. And one of his advice is never race a Grand National that doesn't have catalytic converters. These Grand National engines are bulletproof. And you can throw the biggest turbo on there, right? But what holds it back is exhaust. And if you race a Grand National with no catalytic converters or no exhaust at all, it's a really good chance you're gonna lose. That was like 20 years ago, though. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of cars that can defeat or demolish a Grand National today, but that was 20 years ago. No, that might have been, yeah, that was like 25 years ago. That was a long time ago. Time flies. What dog coin you think will take off the most? I mean, is that a question you really want answered? I think that's just the wrong question. Why do you want to know that? You want to put like all of your money into a meme coin and hopefully it blows up? I mean, I don't know. If I had to answer, I would pick. I mean, it has to be Doge or Sheep. I would pick Sheep, but you can't underestimate Elon. Elon could carry Doge to the moon, literally. So I don't. You can't bet against him. But Sheep has a lot going on, so just stick with one of the two. Everything else, just copycat. Yeah, Grand Nationals used to be insane. Insane. Under 10 seconds, yeah. But they just look horrible. They look like a 90s car. And 90 cars do not look very nice. I take that back. It looks like an 80s car, not a 90s car. The 80s is probably the worst generation for cars. Urus or Cayenne Turbo GT? Of course, Urus. Urus also holds its value much better. That's important. You can buy Urus if you have a company, huge tax deduction, $230,000, $250,000 deducted the first year. Plus, it holds its value. I haven't seen any Urus being sold under 200K. So you can enjoy it for however many years, sell it, and pretty much get the same back. I don't know. I think some cars in the 70s were okay. I think 80s is the worst. 90s got better. But 80s just like... 80s cars got smaller, boxy. They all look like Grand Nationals, right? Like, they all look like that Buick. At least 70s is like, I don't know, more muscle car-ish. S2000 or Acura NSX? NSX. I've driven the first gen NSX. It's a small car. It's a very small car on the inside, but it's fun. I have never driven an S2000, so I can't comment on S2000, but I would get NSX. '55 Porter. Hey. 80s can't be good in everything, all right? This is turning into car chat once again. I guess there's not a whole lot more to talk about with crypto. It is coming back up, though, so that's good. You know, we're only a few hundred points to get back to where we were yesterday. You know, there could be more recovery today. You could see NASDAQ is 0.59%. Dow is turning green. And entire crypto market cap is looking like it wants to flip. BNB is doing good now. Matic is in the green. You know, there's a lot in the green today. Yeah, S2000 doesn't make power because I remember Bad Sunshine. If I remember correctly, S2000 revved to 8,500 RPM. So yeah, it didn't make any power under like 6,000 or 7,000. But still, nevertheless, when it came out, it was one of the greatest two-door coupes at the time. It blew away even the Porsche Boxer or Porsche Boxer. Will anything other than BTC become legal tender? Probably not. Not in the crypto space, no. The countries want to embrace the biggest, and Bitcoin suits that the best because they're also the... You know, I take that back. there'll be stable coins that become legal tender, but they're more like CBDCs. There'll be crypto CBDCs. Yes, they become legal tender. But my point of Bitcoin is, you know, it's neutral. It's not controlled by any government, right? And it's scarce. So I think making Bitcoin legal tender out of everything else makes the most sense. That's why it's being done. But I think other countries will come out their own CBDCs. Do you consider PD Cruiser to be the pinnacle? No. But you know what was really cool that never took off? Is that Chevy truck. It's like a mid-sized truck. It had a retro look. And I thought it was the coolest thing. Shoot, I totally forgot what that truck was. It was out even in the 2000s, I think. Oh yeah, shoot. And Chrysler came out with that F1 looking like car that was also really cool, but it was very underpowered. Yes, the SS. The SS. I mean, that was a cool truck. I don't know why that never took off. Maybe they no, it's not a no, these, is it called the SS? Not this. What's the newer generation called? SSR. There we go. Yes. When this came out in the 2000s, I'm like, man, this is cool. This is cool. It's a convertible truck, right? And you can open up the back if you need to haul stuff. But I think it had a V8. I think it was introduced with a V6. Eventually they shoved a V8 in there, but it wasn't very powerful. It wasn't like a muscle truck. Now that I look at it, it looks kind of funny because it's kind of roundish. But when this came out before, I thought this was really cool. This is really cool. What's the other car from Chrysler? The one that looks like a F1 car. It's still one of the coolest cars if you see it on the road. It's not the PT Cruiser. Prowler. That's what it is. This is still... You see this driving around, especially if you remove the bumper. This is still one of the coolest cars ever. Like, I wish they did more. They made more cars like this. They should make the new Tesla Roadster look like this. I mean, that's just badass looking. All right, you remove the bumpers, which is what everyone does. Even today, I mean, even by today's standards, that just looks amazing. I would totally get this and try to put a big block V8 in there and turbocharge it. But you can't because the engine department is so small. You hardly see this on the road, but when you do, it's like you have to do a double take. I mean, they just look so cool. Yeah, the interior sucks. You got to redo the whole interior. All right, guys. Let you guys go. Hey, look at that. All this card talk pumped up Bitcoin. 23.7. That's looking good. So, overall, guys, happy Friday. Let's see what this weekend brings. I'll be streaming again tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay strong, my friends. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to leave you guys with a message from our friends Siren Labs.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.